Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome to Didi's Hair Salon. That's right. She is a master stylist and hair system expert at Beauty Today. If you have heard of her, maybe you haven't, you're going to learn a lot about Didi today and all of her passion for the work she does. And again, she's based out of New York City, has many years of experience, and we're excited to have Diliana Nikolova joining us now today. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. How are you, Jill?
I'm doing fantastic. Happy almost New Year. Hope the holidays have been good to you
Yeah.
so far.
Good, good. Yeah, I had a nice time with my family. I took off a few days between the holidays, to enjoy my family time. And after
Mm-hmm.
that, after the New Year's, I'm going to hit the work hard
Oh, I
again.
cannot wait to hear. But let's first and foremost, I want to tell everyone how they can contact you. So I know it's hairbydidi.com. That's DIDI.com. Your email address, DIDI at gmail.com. And also, if you want to give her a call, let me just mention this off the top. It's 646-932-1108. So first and foremost, tell us a little bit about your background. Where are you from? I want to know how you got involved in the hair business. Then we'll go into specifics about all your clients and specifically what you do to help people, especially men.
Okay, I moved with my entire family 25 years ago in here. I'm from Bulgaria originally. My husband is also Bulgarian. We have two daughters.
Oh,
Right now, we have three grandchildren, and we have like a full house, just like the series on the TV.
yes, yes, yes.
Yes, and happy to mingle with everybody around the holidays, especially. And in Bulgaria, I was a hairdresser. So when I came in here, because everything was new, I decided to stick with something that I know, which was hair. And I was working here, there as a hairdresser before I came across a hair replacement studio that was hiring hairdressers. That looked very interesting to me. It seemed very interesting to me, very challenging because the way the hairline kind of disappears into the skin was like, wow. I'm like, I want to learn this skill no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I started working for those people. And after a few years working for them, I got off on my own. This kind of work is a little bit nerve wracking at times because people that have that experience hair loss, they are quite like troubled because
Yeah.
of that,
Oh,
and
yeah.
a huge part of my work is actually not just to do the hair,
Mm-hmm.
like cut it, color it, comb it, perm it, whatever is required to be done, but to get into people's minds to see what troubles them along with the hair so I can help them more. And I'm trying to also figure out the best way they're going to look, the most natural way they can look. Or if they're like a little more challenging, they want to experience some like very fashionable hairdos, hair colors. I do all of that. And my clients are very happy that I'm not like somebody like with a narrow vision, that I'm daring to experiment with colors, with shapes, with styles. And it's that's basically it. And also materials, like I work with a lot of base materials that are very very different from one to another, and for different purposes I use different materials. So basically, people come for consultation to learn about what can be done for them, what they need to do, how would they look, how it feels on their heads.
Yeah.
Because the hair systems nowadays, they're not like the old time
Well, that's what I think a
toupees.
lot of people have that notion. And my father
Mm-hmm.
is one of them. I can relate because about 20 something years ago, he went, and I'll just say the name of the company because it's where he went. It was oh my gosh, Hair replacement for men. What was it called? Hair replacement for men. It was the one that was on TV all the time. And anyway, long story short, he had a horrible experience with it. It was very heavy. It was very noticeable. The tape would never stick. It would be peeling up all the time. It was
Hmm.
the hair clippers.
Yeah.
He was
Y-
just not happy with it. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm curious to know how things have changed. I've seen your pictures of befores and afters, and it's like you can't even tell the difference. So, can you tell us about how things have changed and what type of hair we're using, what type of bonding we're using? I would love to get to know, the crux
Sure.
of it all.
Sure, you got it. Okay, the materials that are being used these days are some of them are pretty much the same what have been used like back in the days, and some companies are still sticking with the old design that is like very heavy, looks like a roadkill, and they put it on the people's head and don't explain what to do with it, how to manage it, and people get frustrated and really upset, as you mentioned it. And Nowadays there are available base products. I mean, base is the material that the hair is attached to. So there is a super fine Swiss lace. There is like a super thin skin, which is like a poly material, and the lace is like a super fine, like a nice light material. There are heavier laces, but it can be controlled. It can be requested a lighter density. I mean, for the hair. It can be requested different colors of the hair, and also I specifically have a lot of questions to my clients before I attach it, because I need to know how active are they. Do they sweat a lot? Do they have oily scalp? How often do they shower? Um, I also recommend how often they should shower so it doesn't affect the attachment.
Which is what,
And
by the way, just curious, what is it? How
normally people shower average once or twice a week, which is okay, for the to wash the system. They can wash their own hair, like put a shower cap on the system and wash their own hair with the shampoo and water, like nice, keep it clean. But because the head underneath the system, they cannot rub it, they cannot scrub off the dead skin cells. But wetting it can only affect the attachment. And I explained that to them. I'm like, this is not going to help your scalp to get cleaner. You
hmm
will only might get irritation because some moisture can get trapped underneath the sticky material, and there's going to develop like a bacteria, and it's going to start smelling. You don't want to do that. So people listen to me for the most part, of course. Yeah, for the most part. A lot of people ask me questions additionally to that, but basically this is it. They have to keep it dry as much as they can. There is also a very important 24 to 48 hours period of time after attachment not to wet the system at all, even not
Oh,
sweating,
okay.
because if the adhesive gets wet, that's gonna affect the attachment in total. Also, I do recommend to my clients to try different attachments and not
Okay.
to get discouraged if one doesn't work. Maybe the next one's going to work. I don't know how many adhesive I have, like glues, like different kinds of glues, water based, silicone based, acrylic based. I have different kinds of tapes from my main supplier, Walker Tape company. And I try out different stuff with my clients.
hmm
Also, I profile if something for certain complexion works. Let's say somebody's like my complexion, like light and
hmm
this and that. I try for somebody with similar or same complexion, the same glue or the same tape. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's like a lottery. It's not like it's set in stone and it's like, oh, that's for sure it's gonna work. I hear a lot when clients come to the salon to say, oh, I want the strongest glue. And I'm like, sweetie, it's not how it works. it's a trial and error. We have to try, uh, some glues to see how your scalp's gonna accept it, because everybody's scalp is different. There is no two scalps alike. And it comes down to the client's actually chemistry, body oils, sweating, temperature. It is a science. It's not something that you can just plop it on people's head and expect superb results. That's not happening. So people need to be aware of that little detail, that there is no such thing like universal glue or tape. Everything is trial and error. And excuse me, it's a seasonal thing.
I get
uh,
it. It's okay. Well, let me just ask you
yeah.
this too. So you're individually customizing the hair. A lot of people want that natural look. What about, someone who's kind of salt and peppered, or, they need are you able to add like different highlights to the hair itself if they want a little bit of a highlight or
Okay.
multi-tone look? How does that work?
Yes, if there is a gray requested into the hair, I just order a system with the gray in it. Gray hairs by standard are synthetic, the gray hairs. This is done so when the darker color fades out, it can be restored without affecting the gray hairs. Of course, they are fully human, gray hair systems, but that's for the systems that are more than 50% gray, which is like quite gray. And people in general I don't know, don't don't like to wear synthetic hair if it's like more than 50% gray.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it's done. If anybody needs highlights, like a fancy schmancy highlights,
Yes.
like with the bleach and foils and that, I do that. I do that on
Wow.
the clients' heads. I do that on the systems. Although
Wow.
although the systems are also perming, I can do perming too, like curling it, straightening it, everything. Uh, but it's I just need to tell you that the hair, it's treated, that's a treated hair. It's a human hair, all human hair, but it's a treated hair with the chemicals. So after that, they the manufacturers, they dip it in a color that does not fade very easy, especially dark hair color.
Mm-hmm.
Does not fade very easy. And if a client approaches me with a request, oh, I want on my dark brown hair, I want like a platinum blonde highlight. And I'm gonna tell him, I'm sorry, sweetie, that's not gonna work out. This hair does not lift like a normal human hair. And people need to realize that. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying that, because people just don't know.
Well, I like your honesty about that. I mean, obviously, there's things, people think they could wear and do everything the same. They can go, which is good to know, but you got to be careful. Like, I'm someone who wears hair extensions, right? So I
Uh-huh.
have the glue tape ins right now myself. So I'm very aware of what I can and cannot do, even though they say you could do everything. Well, it's probably not best to go swimming every day and to sweat every day because it does wear upon the glue in a sense, right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
But
absolutely.
you can go on vacation, you can go on a jet ski, your hair can blow, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And I love the fact that you're here and that you have so much experience. You're like this dual, you really have something that makes you so unique because you're able to work obviously on the hair system itself, but then also as a master stylist, integrating both of the systems, doing,
Yes.
it's
Mhm.
beautiful and your approach to detail is fascinating. And
Thank you.
you're welcome. Let me ask, how long does a hair piece last for? Do you recommend people buy, two so they could switch it out? Or, what is the
um
upkeep? Or, I mean, that may be too expensive for some people to do, but tell me what people normally do.
Actually, that again is very personal thing. Just like the attachments, people wear systems off differently, very differently. More nervous persons can kill the system in about 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yes, because they constantly do this, on their heads, like ruffle the hair, mess with it. Um, Other people that are calm, I know for sure that's gonna last them 6 to 8 months. It can last. I mean, it has to be taken down, has to be cleaned up. The scalp needs to be shaved and cleaned up as well. I also observe the health of the scalp, which is very important because if the scalp gets any irritation, that affects immediately the attachment. It's no way around it. It has to be healthy scalp to get a beautiful attachment. And also the systems, sometimes um, regardless of the person's personality, it's just the scalp produces very harsh chemicals like
Mm-hmm.
like the sweat,
Yep.
and just if it's a lace and the nuts are the nuts that are tied to the base are
Mm-hmm.
directly exposed to that sweat, and they actually can burn just like bleach burns the hair. I've witnessed that, and that's why I'm telling you that, because it's I was like in how can I say, I was baffled when that happened. I knew that system. I didn't bleach it for sure. It was not bleached.
Mm-hmm. Got
And
it.
then it sits burned just like on a certain part, only certain part on the tip of the head. That it sits like burned like a bleach. I'm like, what's happening? And then I realized the guy plays sports.
Yeah.
Sometimes he eats spicy food. Sometimes his scalp gets producing a lot of harsh chemicals, and that's what kills it.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. That's
Wow.
yeah. It's interesting, very interesting. I don't have a dull moment in my profession. I love
I'm
it.
sure.
I'm
And
telling you, I'm
are there
loving it.
certain products that, men have to be aware of, what they need to use, not to use on the hair, or can they use their regular shampoo and conditioner?
As long as a moisturizing shampoo and conditioner, they can use it. Conditioner should be used sparsely, like on the ends, on the tips of the hair, and then rinsed out totally. Shampoo, moisturizing shampoo. I mean, by my experience, any moisturizing shampoo is good. There are specialized shampoos that are being sold. Um, honestly, I use my own moisturizing shampoos that I buy from my online supplier,
Mm-hmm.
and they make the hair nice and soft and revive it. I also let me throw this tip. Um, I also like to use a little vinegar. I use white vinegar because it does not smell as much. I mix it together with the shampoo, with the last shampoo I'm going to put on the system. I'm going to mix it with that shampoo and leave it for like 30 seconds to a minute. And
Got
the
it.
hair gets nice and
Wow.
shiny and lush. And it really like cleanses um, all the build up that might happen, and also it revives the hair very nicely.
Amazing. Well, I
Yep.
love hearing about this. I want to remind everyone how we can contact you. Would you mind sharing?
Sure. Yeah. My phone number is 646-932-1108. And my email you can contact me to is DDDIDI hair solutions at gmail.com.
Now,
That's my ways to contact me. Yeah.
okay, and let me ask, are you also working on systems or pieces for women who are experiencing hair loss or just strictly men?
I have a few female clients. They have some hair, and I mean, they still have some hair, but although it's sparse. I like to, um, I advise them to use clips and take the systems every night
Okay.
for their own, healthy hair. I don't want them to shave because I know for sure a woman that doesn't want to shave is going to feel very weird when shaving.
Yes,
And
yes.
yes, and that's why I came up with that design for them. I actually even scold them sometimes when they admit to me that, oh, I didn't take it off. I'm like, hey, you're not supposed to do that. You're killing my hair because once the client sits on the chair, their head is my head. That's it. I'm responsible for it. I take care of it. They should mind that.
Amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, let's also, you've been obviously as a master stylist working in this profession for so long. And let me ask you, is there anything that, we need to be wary about? Because like there's different adhesives, bondage. Is there also like lace fronts compared to the bond? Like, is there different types of adhesives or systems, shall I say? And, how do you know what somebody needs? I thought there was one in particular that you can't wear in hot weather compared to you can wear in hot weather. I'm not sure if that makes any sense.
Okay. Okay, that's what it's a common perception that the poly systems are not good for hot weather. I can say I can beg to differ from that because a lot of clients actually prefer the poly systems for hot weather because
Okay.
the adhesive does not seep through, whereas the lace, when they wear lace, the adhesive seeps through into the hair. And with the poly systems, although they
Mm-hmm.
gonna need to do services more frequently in the summer,
Got it.
obviously, because that glue just melts down no matter what. And I would advise person that has still a lot of hair on the top of the head
Mm-hmm.
to wear a lace or a mono or anything that can be
Ah,
attached with the tape, because what's going to happen when they wear a poly system, like the skin system, what's going to happen is, like, once the hair starts growing, and hair grows in different speed, the hair going to start pushing away the system, and that's going to cause frictions, going to cause discomfort and detachment, basically, from the scalp. So that's why I would recommend um, those, different systems for different clients heads. And also I find out that the poly system, the skin systems, they work much better with people who don't have hair on the top of their heads,
okay.
like maybe a few hairs is no hair for me, but they work best because they're like kind of wrapping nicely, and the moisture cannot penetrate to affect the attachment. And although in the summer they might need to wash it more frequently to replace the glue more frequently, it works better, in my opinion.
Awesome. Well, the fact that you have so much experience, and I hope people do reach out to you. Is there an initial consultation? How do we set up the appointment? Do you offer free consultation, or is there
I
a
do.
fee for that? Okay.
There is no fee for free consultation. I mean, I offer free consultation. There is no fee for that. I offer 15 minutes of consultation either via FaceTime or any like Zoom or Zoom. I don't use Zoom. Sorry.
You are
uh,
today, darling. You're doing a fantastic job doing it. I get to see her. If you're just listening on the podcast, we're also on the Zoomcast today, so you're doing great.
yes, yes, yes. Um, or people can come in the salon and we can talk about systems, and they have if they have questions, which I would advise them to prepare ahead of time, because sometimes I don't have the time to spare longer than 15 minutes. Sometimes I do, but it's not all the time. So if they prepare the questions, ask them. I'll try to explain to them as the best as I can, and they can book online. They can make online appointment at my Google listing. There is a book now button, and they can just click on that and make the appointment. Like follow whatever they want to do, like service, cut-ins for a new piece, consultation, or they just can pick up the phone or text me. Texting is best because I can't always pick up the phone, unfortunately. Especially when I attach somebody and somebody calls me on the phone. I'm like, not now, buddy. Yes,
Oh, that's
that's
great. Well, we are honored to have you here and hope people do reach out. And by the way, you mentioned you're located in New York City. Do you want to share an address?
Sure, yes. I'm located at 270 West 25th Street. This is between 7th and 8th Avenue, and just right around the corner from E and C trains, and one train on 23rd Street as well.
Beautiful. Well, let me ask you this. You've been doing this for quite some time. Could you just share a story or two quickly of someone that you've helped in the past? I'd love to hear a story how you transformed someone's life because, like you mentioned, it's a very personal experience, and people suffering with hair loss, they're emotionally distraught. Tell me what this does to uplift them.
Um, I can tell you tons of stories, but there is not enough time now.
Okay.
But
We'll save it for
yeah,
next time.
tons
I
of
want to hear.
stories.
I would love to see some before and after pictures too.
Yeah, before pictures and after. I think they can check. People can check on my TikTok. Let me just check what it was.
Sure.
On my TikTok. Shush, shush, shush. Um, at Hair Solutions. 1 second.
No problem.
Hair Solutions by Didi. One
Perfect.
second. Share profile. Let me see. Yeah, it's at Hair Solutions by Didi. That is my TikTok video, TikTok account, and people can see videos of how I work and before and afters. Um, I don't post much because I just don't think of it. I'm little like old school, and my mind is not like concentrated on shooting myself and like videoing myself and posting. That's more to the younger generations.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to say that. So whenever I think of doing it, I'm doing it, but it's not too often, unfortunately. um so what changed? Like, I have quite a few clients that literally grew up around me. They were in their 20s when we met. Now they are in their 40s, like,
Wow.
and they have families. They don't think about their hair negatively. um, I always see that, like, uh, joy on their faces when they, like, see the result in the mirror, and like the unbelieving look in their eyes. I'm like, Is this me? I can't believe this is me." That's what they say. That's what they say. Or somebody recently was like, "Oh, that's too perfect." No, oh my gosh, that's perfect. That was so funny. Yeah. So what else can I tell you? Other people get depressed because their hair does not look good.
Yeah.
I give my best, to do it. But some people are just like depressed. I am not a shrink, unfortunately. So I can only do as much as I can do.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. Pleasure having you here, and want to thank you again for your time. Glad we got this started and we got to go a little over, so we're able to make up for that lost time we had in the beginning, Diliana or DD.
Yes, yes, sorry about that.
Hairbydd.com. Don't worry. We had the time today, so I gave it to you. You have a fantastic day, and I hope we
Thank you, Jill.
get together again in the new year, okay?
All right. Thank you, Jill.
Thanks so much. And to all of our listeners and viewers, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.